and welcome. I'm Nikita Singh and you're watching Tech It Out. This week, we show you the world's first wooden satellite. Watch how Taiwan is preparing the next generation of drone developers and find out what the digital detox trend is all about. Imagine a satellite made not of metal but of wood. A material traditionally associated with forests and trees is being tested in one of the most extreme environments in the universe, the outer space. But what could a wooden satellite possibly offer to the future of space exploration? Watch this story for more details.
Since the launch of Sputnik 1 in 1957, satellites have always been made of metal. But now Japanese scientists are testing an alternative. They are working on a wooden satellite. On Monday night, a SpaceX Dragon cargo capsule carrying a model of the world's first wooden satellite launched from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Named LignoSat, the satellite is developed by Kyoto University and Japan's Sumitomo Forestry. LignoSat's design is simple yet pioneering. It's a 4-inch cube made primarily of wood, along with small plastic and silicon parts. The satellite reached the International Space Station on November 5th and will serve as an early test of using timber for space missions, including potential lunar and Mars exploration.
After the satellite is released from the International Space Station, there are several tasks that need to be completed. First, the antenna must open after 30 minutes. If the antenna fails to open, signals cannot be exchanged. This is the first and the most important thing. Next, we need to see whether the solar panels will generate electricity properly. If successful, electricity will be supplied and we will be able to obtain signals. These are the first two missions we would like to accomplish.
The satellite will be released into orbit 400 kilometers above Earth in the coming weeks. LignoSat, named from the Latin word for wood, underscores the potential of wood as a sustainable space material. The environmental benefits of a wooden satellite are the key motivator behind the unique innovation. When metal satellites re-enter Earth's atmosphere and burn up, they release pollutants like aluminium oxide that harm the ozone layer. In contrast, burning wood produces mainly water vapor and carbon dioxide, making it a much cleaner option.
The satellites currently in use are usually made of aluminium, which produces aluminium particles when re-entering the Earth's atmosphere, causing pollution to the atmosphere. Therefore, our proposal of this wooden satellite to the world means that we can develop space in an environmentally friendly way. Regardless of how many wooden satellites we create in the future, we are suggesting a new path for space development.
If successful, the LignoSat project could inspire new uses for wood in space. To find the best wood for the mission, the scientists tested 3 types of wood: birch, cherry, and magnolia.
We cut the lumber and make it into board materials and then process that. This takes about a month. After that, we assemble the boards and inside we install electronic circuit boards. It takes about a year to put them together and test them.
In 2022, these samples were exposed to harsh space conditions, including extreme temperatures and cosmic rays, for 8 months at the ISS. Once deployed, LignoSat will be in orbit for 6 months, where scientists will observe how the wood handles the intense conditions of space, with temperatures swinging between -100 to 100 degrees Celsius every 45 minutes. The experiment will also measure the geomagnetic field inside a wooden structure and track the wood's expansion and contraction in orbit. Looking forward, the team envisions using wood on larger satellites and even in space structures beyond Earth's orbit.
Taiwan's universities are taking to the skies as the next generation of drone developers compete in a high-stakes challenge. With tensions rising in the region, these students are not just building drones. They're shaping the future of defense technology. Watch how these young innovators are flying high in a competition with real-world implications.
"20 teams from various Taiwanese universities came together recently to test their drones at the Asia UAV AI Innovation Application R&D Center in Chiayi County. As the students watched anxiously, the unmanned aerial vehicles they designed took off, landed, and occasionally crashed in a simulated battlefield scenario. The drone testing was part of the National Defense Application UAV Challenge. The competition is not only aimed at helping students gain hands-on experience in building and developing drones, it is also intended to boost Taiwan's efforts to increase domestic drone production. As part of the competition, drones were required to fly autonomously to around 200 feet height, take images of a remote target, and return to base within 10 minutes. To make the scenario more realistic, organizers used a jammer to disrupt satellite signals, making it harder for the UAVs to stay airborne.
After the drone takes off, we will activate a signal jammer. The drone must then fly autonomously without GPS and for a sufficiently long distance. Ideally, it will activate its mechanism for ground target identification, accurately identify the target we set. Then the drone must transmit the image back and return safely. This is the main requirement of this competition.
In a bid to outpace China's growing military threat, Taiwan is investing heavily in drone technology. This involves substantial investments in drone acquisition, development, and nurturing local talent. And competitions like these inspire the youth to assist the military or its supporting industries.
Although Taiwan has started a bit more slowly, this doesn't really matter much, to be honest. After all, this is the path we have to take in the future. We cannot stop moving forward just because we are behind others.
Technology never ceases to amaze us. It's amazing how it can even remove physical barriers for disabled people. In the story, we show you a breakthrough development in the field of prosthetics.
A prototype of a prosthetic foot that replicates the anatomical structure of a real human foot has been unveiled by the Italian Institute of Technology. But what makes it truly remarkable? The robotic soft foot replicates the flexibility and waterproof characteristics of a human foot. This breakthrough could revolutionize life for those with limb loss. Named the Soft Foot Pro, this bionic foot is engineered for performance on uneven and slippery terrain. It enhances balance for users and may even be used in future humanoid robots.
We have a system of phalanx, bones, ligaments and muscles that allow us to deal with every kind of environment. What we are trying to do is to replicate this, translate this principle in a technology system that can be available for both humanoid robots and also prosthetic system for humans.
Weighing around 450 grams, the prosthesis can support up to 100 kilograms. The Soft Foot Pro comprises a titanium arch mechanism connected by plastic chains that emulate the plantar fascia of human feet. Plantar fascia is a thick ligament that connects your heel to the front of the foot. The design allows the foot to distribute force evenly during walking. This makes movement more efficient and natural while also absorbing impact on the ground. Traditional prostheses and humanoid robots generally feature flat or low-compliant feet. While these designs offer stability, they fall short of adapting to various terrain and postures such as kneeling or bending. However, the Soft Foot Pro's lack of motors or electrical components makes it waterproof and versatile for outdoor use on various terrains. This eliminates the need to switch prostheses for specific activities.
We are trying to have a system that users can adopt every day in their life without changing the fit for specific task. This means that we can use this prototype in every condition of our life, in humid environments like water, but also in a work environment that can be difficult for people to address with the conventional fit.
Its innovative design has already secured 2 international patents, with a third currently under review by the European Patent Office.
The growing issue of smartphone addiction among teenagers is gaining center stage. With many young people often spending hours glued to their screens, experts are sounding the alarm about its impact on their mental health. But there's a shift happening. Teenagers are now actively seeking ways to reduce their screen time and reclaim their lives. Our next story highlights this digital detox movement.
Meet Maria Sisman. The 13-year-old girl used to be obsessed with her phone.
Let's say, for example, I watch a video, the next day I wouldn't remember it. It's like fast food for the brain, you know. It just goes in your brain and it doesn't have any use.
Last year, Sisman joined a local youth club to overcome her phone addiction. A wise decision for Sisman, as it led to her enjoying other hobbies rather than being glued to the screen like before. Her mother too noticed a big change in the teenager.
She was very withdrawal. Stay in the house and stay on the phone. Not wanted to go out and meet friends, so she had that anxiety to make friends. But now it's different. She gets excited to meet new people.
When it comes to teenage phone addiction, Sisman is not alone. According to a survey by Charity Onside, 1.3 million young people in England spend most of their time on their phones. That's approximately 25% children aged between 11 and 18 years. The survey suggests that around 52% of young people want to cut back on their phone use, but over 46% of them do not know how to do it. In order to curb smartphone addiction, many schools are banning phones on their premises. The Fulham Boys School in London is one such educational institution.
In the past, if you stood on the pavement, you'd see boy after boy arriving, even in a group, looking at their phones, almost internally on their own, even though they might be walking with their friends. Now they're talking to one another, they're aware of the area that they're walking in.
Students of Fulham Boys School say their lives are better without being on the devices so much.
I've started to take in the world more, and I've started to enjoy things that I didn't really used to enjoy.
I take more advantage of what I'm actually being taught, instead of looking forward to being on my phone.
It looks like it is not just the experts, but even the younger generation who think a digital detox is not a bad thing after all.
Robot dogs are emerging as a new weapon to fight modern wars. Countries like the US and China are at the forefront of their deployment and development. Watch our next story to know more.
In the rapidly evolving landscape of modern warfare, robotic dogs are becoming a game-changing asset. From the front lines of Ukraine to military exercises in the US, India, and China. These mechanical canines are demonstrating their capabilities in a variety of combat scenarios to minimize risking human lives. As the conflict in Ukraine drags on, the need for innovative solutions has never been greater. Enter the robotic dog. A metallic companion designed to perform dangerous missions such as spying on enemy trenches and detecting landmines. Called Bad One, this robot is capable of standing, crouching, running and even jumping on command, all while remaining low to the ground to avoid detection. With thermal imaging technology, these robotic dogs can spy on enemy positions or inspect the interiors of buildings in active combat zones. Beyond reconnaissance, these robot dogs can carry up to 7 kilograms of essential supplies, such as ammunition or medical supplies, to critical points on the battlefield.
A dog would cost a couple of thousands, can take over tasks where you have otherwise deployed a lot of communication systems and at least 3 to 5 soldiers. So the systems can save lives and are significant for modern warfare and our tactics in the future.
Across the Atlantic, the United States Army is also exploring the potential of robotic dogs. During a recent counter-drone exercise, a robot dog equipped with an artificial intelligence-enabled rifle was seen in action. The robot dog features a small turret capable of holding rifles, a targeting system and a GoPro-like camera mounted on its front. Known as the Vision 60Q UGV, this robotic dog also holds the ability to maneuver the rifle to identify and eliminate drones. Not to be left behind in this technological arms race, the Indian Army is preparing to introduce 25 remote-controlled robotic mule dogs into its ranks. MULE stands for Multi-Utility Legged Equipment. These advanced machines come equipped with thermal cameras and an array of sensors to conduct surveillance in diverse environments. Additionally, these machines can carry small payloads, ensuring that essential supplies reach soldiers on the front lines without putting human lives at risk. China too is making huge strides in the development of robotic dogs for military use. During recent military drills with Cambodia, the Chinese military unveiled a robot dog armed with an automatic rifle. Look at this. The robot dog can walk and even move backwards, all under the control of a remote operator. Robot dogs are being increasingly integrated into military operations. These mechanical canines are set to redefine what it means to have a man's best friend on the front lines.
Well, we've shared a lot of interesting stories on emerging tech trends, but there's a lot more happening in the world of technology across the globe. Here's a quick wrap of all the latest developments.
Canada has ordered the TikTok business to be dissolved in the country following a security review. However, do note that the Canadian government will not be blocking user access to the short video app anytime soon. Canada began reviewing TikTok's plan to invest and expand its business in Canada last year. Canadian law allows for the review of foreign investments that may be injurious to Canada's national security. This is not the first time Canada has questioned TikTok's credibility. Last year, Canada banned TikTok from all government-issued mobile devices. Meanwhile, TikTok has said it will challenge the Canadian government's order in court. A company statement said shutting down TikTok's Canadian offices could end hundreds of well-paying local jobs. The Canadian government's move against TikTok is the latest in a series of scrutiny measures of Chinese technology companies worldwide. South Korea has fined tech giant Meta around $15 million. The country's watchdog accused Meta of collecting sensitive user data and sharing it with advertisers without user consent between July 2018 to March 2022. This includes information on users' religion, political views, and same-sex unions. As per reports, Meta allegedly obtained information of around 980,000 South Korean Facebook users. This information was allegedly used by over 4,000 advertisers. The agency said Meta failed to protect user privacy by failing to remove or block inactive pages, a security lapse that caused a data leak for 10 South Korean Facebook users. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has announced a planned social media ban for children under 16 to protect young users. The legislation, expected late next year, will require age verification to prevent underage access on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and X. Communications Minister Michelle Rowland indicated YouTube may also be affected. In his address, Albanese emphasized social media's risk to mental health, particularly for young girls facing body image pressures and boys exposed to harmful content. Australia's proposal stands out globally as it lacks exemptions for parental consent or existing accounts, setting a new age restriction benchmark. The digital industry group that represents tech companies voiced concerns that the ban may push youth toward unregulated online spaces. Albanese intends to present the bill by year's end for potential rollout a year after approval. Delivering life-saving medications to remote parts of Kenya is proving challenging due to rough weather and poor road conditions. Now, a company is overcoming these obstacles by using drones to quickly transport essential supplies, including HIV medications and testing kits, to Kisumu County. These drones are specially equipped to ensure safe delivery. Medicines are packed in boxes with air inserts and a parachute, allowing them to land gently near clinics. This approach also saves healthcare workers from long trips to collect supplies. Kenya's HIV epidemic remains severe. Over 2 million people have died from AIDS-related complications since the country's first recorded case in 1986.
HIV patients need to take their medicines every day at a particular time, failure to which can lead to viral resistance. Traditional mode of delivery can actually take several days to be able to deliver, especially when there are road network challenges or rains that impede them from delivering. This takes several days to deliver, but with Zipline, we are able to deliver these within 15 to 45 minutes to the patient. Optimal adherence requires that somebody is able to take 95% or above of their doses.
After each delivery, Zipline's drone quickly returns to base, ready for its next mission to support healthcare in remote Kenyan communities.
Well, that's all we have for you in this episode of Tech It Out. We will continue to bring you exciting new inventions and updates on the latest gadgets. Until then, keep watching WION World is One, and also don't forget to follow us on social media. For now, it's me, Nikita Singh, taking your leave. See you next week.